Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. We're going to be doing the June new moon reading for the sign of Scorpio. How are all my lovely Scorpios doing today? Scorpio is one of those water signs that I really enjoy because of their fieriness, me being a Sagittarius. Yeah, I think Scorpios are very misunderstood. There's a lot of mystical energy associated with Scorpios. Okay. Yeah, incredible part of the zodiac, I guess, evolution when you go through from Aries to Pisces. So, love you, Scorpios. Hope you're having a good first half of the year. We're about almost at the summer solstice. So today it's the new moon reading, which is all about beginnings, new journeys, new relationships, changes that are about to happen for the better, new visions, reevaluating your visions. It's a time to reevaluate what you've been doing and perhaps start or change a new path, a new vision, take steps towards accomplishing your vision. It's all of that kind of energy. So we're going to see what your spirit animal is for this new moon period, Scorpio. This reading is general, and it could be about love, career, whatever, okay, life in general. And it is from new moon to new moon, so the next 28 days, all right? So let's see, what's the spirit animal that's going to be guiding our lovely Scorpios during this new moon period? All right, show me. Show me. Yeah, I wouldn't have taken that flyer if I would have taken that card that flew out if it was just one, but two came out, and I only need one card. All right. Wow, it's the unicorn. Beautiful energy. So, alchemical symbol for ether. We can't. I'm not sure if you can see that kind of circle at the top. There you go. Can you see that circle coming off of the light there at the top? It's kind of like a little hologram in the card. It's the alchemical symbol for ether. So there's 5 elementals, fire, water, earth, air, and ether. Ether being different than air, being the spirit. So unicorn, of course, represents the belief in magic. It represents opening up the third eye. Okay, the unicorn is associated with the 6th chakra, which is the third eye. So it's all about communicating magic, believing in magic, opening up your eye for messages, higher wisdom, connecting to the divine, you know, looking within, you know, when you hear signs, right? When you hear signs or you hear messages, believing in them immediately instead of being like a pessimist. You know what I mean? Is it real? Did it really exist? What was that intuition that what I felt? What could that, you know what I mean? This is giving over to that and believing in it. Believing in the divine, believing in your own sort of connection to your spirit. So the unicorn kind of challenges us to do that. You know, do you believe in, it's also that whole conversation we always have about God. Do you believe in God or not? You know what I mean? It's that kind of introspection, right? So, of course, being associated with the third eye, being exactly where the horn is extended on the unicorn, right? That talks about, it's representative of that because it's like, it's telling you, you know, allow your third eye to be your beacon, to be your guide. Right, to be your command center, as it were, right? To kind of guide you, all right? So it's a very mystical time for you, Scorpio. Very spiritual, very magical, though. Specifically magical, not only spiritual, but like that kind of magic that comes with the belief in, you know, mysticism, metaphysics, right? Esotericism, the occult, all of that kind of stuff. But more so, if anything, just being open psychically Could be that that's how you're feeling as well. But in general, that's the spirit animal that's going to be with you this month. It's going to help you receive messages. All right, give me a clear reading for our lovely Scorpios for this new moon period of June. Show me what's going on for them. Give me affirmations, reaffirmations, warning signs, energies that will be helping them or that they should stay away from. We want them to achieve their highest good for this new moon period. So give me a clear message for our lovely, lovely Scorpio. Okay, Scorpios. I love you guys. Let's see what it says. Let's see what messages we got coming in for you guys today. I love this spread. There's so many aspects to this spread. There is a time aspect, a story in general that unfolds. There are cross aspects to the cards in terms of being harmonic or disharmonic or discordant rather. All right, at the center, Ace of Swords. Once again, we've had a lot of Ace of Swords coming up this month, and 10 of Wands at the center again. A lot of people are working, a lot of people this month, this new moon period, are coming to the end of something. They're feeling very tired. Hanged Man is at the bottom of the deck. So, Hanged Man is the second two. First two being the High Priestess talks about the Hanged Man, right? A lot of people say, oh, he's so uncomfortable. He doesn't look uncomfortable to me. All right, he's just hanging there. He's hanging around, right? He's got time. He believes he has time on his side, right? And the Hangman kind of stays hung until something sparks his attention, until he finds something that he desires enough to change for. The Hangman also comes up when you're beginning on that path of realizing that you need to, right, change, come down off of that beam, okay? This card gets pulled not because you don't realize you're hanging, but the realization is now dawning that you're stuck, that perhaps you've been waiting too long. All right, so at the center, you got Ace of Swords. There's a victory coming in for you, a message coming in for you, Scorpio, that's going to vindicate you. It could be a conversation, right, that you have with somebody. It could be a note or a document or a letter. It could be the conclusion of a legal issue or some kind of technical, mandatory thing that you had to deal with, you know. But it's coming to a close. I don't know that it's necessarily coming to a close, but you're certainly going to get information coming through that is going to make you feel like, yeah, I was right. And it's been a long, long struggle, Scorpio. All right, it's been a long struggle. You're at the end of this cycle. It's about to end for you, right? You'll be able to rest, all right? It's just this last little push. This is 10 of Wands. Finishing a cycle and getting ready to start a new one. Yeah, you're moving away now. You're ready to start your journey. You're ready to depart in any case, right? So this is the departure portion of the journey towards harmony. Six of Swords is the time when you've decided to leave all of the burning of the city behind, the war, the fighting, the Five of Swords. You're ready to leave all that behind and go towards more harmonious shores. Right? It's a conscious decision. You're ready. This could also indicate a physical move. Knight of Pentacles is in. So somebody's coming in to you. It's been a long time coming. It's taken a while. This card always makes me laugh. It kind of like has these wheels that kind of like, I imagine them just slowly like coming forward. But if you notice the way the wheels are on this contraption, I want to say that he's riding in, there's no ability for them to turn. They can only go forward. And I imagine they probably can't even go backward. But they can't, there's no turning mechanism there. There's no way for that wheel to turn. It's just straight down. So, so that shows you the determination of the Knight of Pentacles, that he is always going to press forward. Maybe he will take some time arriving. I don't know what's happening with my flash here. Sorry about that. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can fix that. Hold on, guys. All right, folks, I'm back. Sorry about that. My camera just started to get all wonky and, like, started, I don't know what it was doing. But anyway, ghost in the machine, right? So I was talking about a Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, I love this card because, again, I was saying that the wheels aren't really able to turn because of the way the contraption is built. So it's just indicative of the determination of the knight coming in. So someone's coming into you. It's been taking a long time for them to arrive, but they're coming with a really real offer for you. And the Hierophant is here. So quite recently, I'm not surprised that you have unicorn energy with you, because the Hierophant talks all about your belief systems, you know, that you hold dear, your spiritual systems, your cultural beliefs, right? And right, most recently, that's been looming quite large. It's been something you've been thinking about. Perhaps it's something that you've been kind of contemplating, you know. You know, what are my beliefs? Have I been holding on to them for too long? Sometimes the Hierophant and Hangman come out together. Oftentimes this energy will come out together because a lot of times we become stuck in our beliefs and they no longer serve our purpose. We find that they become limiting at some point. Fives being power struggle. So there can be a time where there can come a time in your life where there is a somewhat of a power struggle between your individuality and your belief system that you've held on to. A lot of times Hierophant can indicate commitment. A lot of times it shows up, people feel like it may indicate commitment and love. But here I believe certainly with the cards that have come up so far, and with the spirit animal unicorn, this is really more about self-realization, Scorpio. And here comes the first cup card. So 3 of Cups. There's been some flirting, some dating, some enjoying yourself, right? Nothing very serious per se, not a commitment, but more like just fun that you're having. This could be a friends with benefits scenario, all right? But that's kind of also, and you're focused right now, you're kind of focused on a lot of pleasure. This is also the pleasure principle, you know. This is my honeymoon card as well. A lot of people call this third-party energy for obvious reasons, but 3 being bonding and loyalty. It's the number for bonding and loyalty. It's also the number going past the point of no return. So sometimes it can be in relationships when you go past the point of returning, when you engage in a certain type of relationship or conduct that ruins your relationship, too much indulging. Okay, so that's the warning here. However, primarily 3s is the number of bonding socially with like-minded people, having a loyalty to that group. It could be a like-minded social group. It could be that you're part of a community, LGBT, you know what I mean? It could be whatever community that you believe you're close to, that's your social, cultural community that you feel a part of, right? It can even just be a group of friends that have grown up together, that are very close, that have each other's backs. It's the bonding of those that are like-minded to you, and the joy that comes in that bonding. So you're very much feeling like that. You're feeling really sociable, but there's some anxiety here, Scorpio. What are you worried about? This has been coming up for you. This came up for the monthly reading as well. Definitely check out my June love tarot reading for Scorpio. You're worried. And I think a lot of you Scorpios lately, you've really been going through scenarios, and I believe they've been either romantic scenarios or scenarios on the career front that really made you think about where you are in life and how you've been going about it, right? Like I said, the Hierophant, how you've been going about your life, the assumptions you may have made about relationships and people, right? So there's been a lot of introspection, and this 9 of Swords also keeps coming up. 9 being the number of solitude, you know, aloneness, not loneliness, but aloneness. 9 being the Hermit in the major arcana, so that's, you know, self-realization and going within to learn, right? To cultivate that relationship with the self. Well, 9 of Swords talks about that as well. It's anxieties that you have, right? It's not necessarily fears about real issues. It can be anxieties, be worries about previous relationship, just worrying that the same thing is going to happen again. Interestingly enough, it's this is up here in your conscious and your subconscious is the desire to leave. It could be that the anxieties are one of the reasons why you have this desire to kind of leave, maybe flee, run away, you know. So this isn't usually running away energy. It's very mindful towards harmony, but make sure that you aren't running away because of anxiety, all right? So that's something to be aware of, for you to think about. Temperance showing up, Sagittarius. Some of you could be dealing with a Sagittarius. This is the Sagittarius card, so it's about temperance. Interestingly enough, this is like dominion over the self, whereas 4 is Emperor, dominion of men and the leader. This is you having dominion of yourself, control, tempering, being able to control your emotions and you know, present your highest best good, you know, at all times, to always be true to yourself, right? It's a lot of self-control. You're exercising a lot of self-control. Interestingly enough, this card is crossing the 3 of Cups. Could be that you're feeling like you need to exercise more self-control in your romantic dealings. Could be that you've been dating a little bit too much. Interestingly enough, look at this aspect here at the top. You have the 3 of Cups, which is kind of like date, you know, like I said, it's bonding and loyalty, but it can also be a lot of dating, flirting, socializing. Then you've got this anxiety here at the middle, and then here comes temperance. So you're going through one of those periods, Scorpio, where it's like you're enjoying yourself, and then you're going back and reflecting. You're worried, now you're tempering yourself. Not too much, not too much. You know, not too much. Remember what happened last time I did too much of that. Here comes the anxiety, right? 7 of Cups, it's, you know, you're reevaluating what you really want. It's time for a change. Certainly. And again, this is perfect for you to have unicorn spirit animal riding with you, because 7 of Cups talks about reevaluating what your dreams really are. What is it that's really important to you? This card has been coming out through all of the new moon readings as well. A lot of you guys, all the signs are going through a period, this new moon period of self-reflection, reevaluating what your dreams and your goals are, what you find is really important. There's the High Priestess. All right, beautiful. The High Priestess is there. There's your psychic energy, your third eye opening, your wisdom. All right, there's your unicorn. All right. So the High Priestess has dominion over the occult, over mysticism, over spirituality. She has the wisdom. She's gone through all of that. She sees the before, the present, and the what's to come. She is, you know, wisdom, and, you know, she's full embodiment of wisdom, balance, 2 being the card of balance, right? So it's the energy, it's the magic of the High Priestess that gives the magician the ability to manifest his desires, his wishes, right? It's that flow, the flow of this strong feminine kind of magic that gives that the magician, right, the 1, High Priestess 2 coming together, making the Trinity, that gives them that energy, right, to manifest. So yes, you're feeling very spiritual. You're feeling very in control of yourself. There is some anxiety here, but you're tempering it, and you're realizing it's time to make a change. It's time to reevaluate what it is you're seeking. Could be that some of you are starting to realize that a particular dream you've been chasing is not really the one you want to chase anymore, or a particular vision that you've been trying to fulfill. Perhaps you fulfilled it and now you're realizing it's not really what you want. So it's, you know, a lot of you Scorpios are really going through a period of self-reflection, certainly. Interestingly enough, that you have the Hierophant over here, right? A period of where you're kind of thinking about, you know, those systems you're holding dear. Are they limiting you to come over here that, hey, hang on a second, you know, perhaps I need to reevaluate my whole kind of goal here. Because what I'm having, or what I'm receiving now, I thought it would make me happy, but I'm not happy. Right? Could be that you thought these kind of relationships, very like, you know, fly-by-night relationships, not necessarily any deep commitment, you know, flirtatious dating energy, you know, perhaps you thought it's what you wanted, and up came these anxieties, and you realize it isn't what you want. Now you're ready to reevaluate. Maybe you're ready to settle down, to be more committed. Who knows? Okay? Give us a clear reading. Give us a clear clarity reading on these cards, please. Show us some deeper insight so I can help my Scorpios through this new moon period of June. A lot of people going through changes, like I said. Show me. Show me what's going on with my lovely Scorpios. All right, here we go. We're going to cut the deck and get right into it. Interesting. A lot of times the new moon readings can be very, the moon readings, new moon and full moon readings can be very different. But however, I do notice that the new moon readings each month seem to have kind of the same general energy. All right, Three of Wands down here. Emperor. Interesting. I kept thinking of the Emperor. The other four. The Magician, out of control. Nine of Wands. Beautiful. Seven of Cups. Debauched. This is one of the cup cards in the Thoth deck that just keeps coming out. The Fool. Eight of Wands. I don't read Thoth in reverse. And Aeon. All right. At the bottom of the deck, here comes Sagittarius again. So Sagittarius has shown up twice now in your reading. Some of you could definitely be dealing with a Saggy. I hate saying Saggy. I'm a Sagittarius. Sagittarius. Okay? More temperance. So, yeah, virtue, wanting to, you know, Three of Wands, wanting to move forward. You know, forward, wanting to take the next step in your vision, and you're realizing that perhaps here, this where you're at now, is not the place for it. You need to depart. It's part of your vision. It's part of the next step. So you're not running away here. This is not a form of necessarily running away. This is certainly a form of getting on the next step, of progressing in terms of your vision for your life, where you want to go next. Knight of Pentacles, yes, is coming in. Stability, right? So it's been a long time coming, this Knight of Pentacles, but it's definitely representing this kind of energy. Again, the Emperor is Aries, fire. This person, yeah, it took a while, but they're coming in, and they're bringing stability with them. Right? They're bringing stability with them. Now, this could be a romantic, this could be someone that turns into a romantic, you know, kind of liaison, right? But he's coming in first as an opportunity, as a financial or a sort of more practical opportunity, as a more stabilizing force. I don't know who this is. It could be a friend. It could be a business partner, right? And yeah, Hierophant. Yeah, so recently you have had to reevaluate because you've been feeling kind of like magician, out of control. You haven't been able to manifest like you normally have. It's interesting that I would mention a magician earlier with the High Priestess, but in the Thoth deck there are three magicians. And this one is the one that's not in control. The monkey has grown large enough. You know, his monkey on his back is so big that now he's controlling the magician. He looks very out of control. If you see his face, it's very kind of like, you know, oh, God, help me. You know, what am I doing? And so, yeah, I think that that's been how you've been feeling. So you've absolutely had to, you know, felt like you've had to call into question some of your assumptions that have, you know, because it's not jiving. You're like, well, I didn't think this is the way it should be. Why do I feel so out of control? Could be that you've met somebody that makes you feel like that, and this is a new thing for you, and it's like, I've always held on to certain assumptions about myself and other people, but this is not true with this particular person or this particular scenario, right? Here we go with Three of Cups. This bonding, this kind of way of interacting that you've had lately, there is definitely Nine of Wands. So Nine of Wands talks about persevering, right? Having come through some battles, having come through a really long period of a lot of, you see the arrows here, you know, they indicate all the little battles that you've had to go through. And now the final centerpiece is the wand. It's the sun in Aries. Sun in Sagittarius. Lot of Sagittarian energy coming out. Sun in Sagittarius, which is that kind of like perseverance. You know, when you thought you didn't have any more energy, you push through. It's Nine of Wands. Here's Ten of Wands, the final, you know, the arrival. So yeah, it's I think that you've gone through a lot of battles, maybe in love. You know, you're looking back and you're just trying to have some fun right now. I think that's where your head is at with this, right? But it's still not satisfying you. You know, I think you thought that it would because you had been kind of like really put through the mill, and now you were at a point where you're like, okay, I want to enjoy myself. You know what I mean? I'm looking back on all these battles that I've had, you know, and I'm the strong one. I made it, right? So now it's time for me to enjoy myself a little. Why should I commit myself and have to go through another battle? Let me just date and get what I want. But here comes the reason why you're having anxiety, because it's too much. The pleasure is there, but it's not elevating you. It's not, Scorpio, Scorpios are so misunderstood. Yes, you know, they're associated with the sexual organ because that's what they're associated with. But it's more, it's not that they're callous about sex. Yes, they're very sensual and sexual, and they enjoy sex. Sex is transformative, but it has to be transformative. It can't just be shallow sex for the Scorpio, or else he comes to this place which is debauch. Too much lust, too much, you know, too much of the pleasure principle without the elevation, without the deep connection. And so it's giving you anxiety, you're unhappy, it's naturally making you feel out of sorts. So whereas you thought that this would be okay, it's not really for you, and you're realizing that. And I think that that is what's making this big change for you right now. At the center, remember, is Ace of Swords. So that's all about communication as well. Remember, communicate. That's going to be the main energy in terms of going through all of that, is that communicating, you know. Maybe being the one to have the conversation, not waiting for the conversation to come to you. Yeah, Temperance, because it's like a whole new thing. This is a whole new way of feeling for you. You feel almost like the Fool, right? The Fool in the sense that this is like you're out of your element. This is why the Magician showed up like this. You know, perhaps this, you know, whereas Scorpios, you're quite the master of yourselves, but you do torture yourselves as well a lot of times. And I think this Temperance has come because of this feeling of being out of your element, of feeling like the Fool in this scenario, whereas you thought, you know, you could handle it, but you can't. And so this Temperance energy has come in. Could also be that if you are dealing with a Sagittarian, this is a whole new type of experience for you. Right? This is a whole new experience for you, and you're just kind of, you know, like just going along with it, you know, going along for the ride, so to speak, you know, but you just can't leave this person alone. All right, Eight of Wands is coming in. You know, you have, again, you have a lot of, Eight of Wands is Mercury and Sagittarius. So that's a lot of options, a lot of ways to that rainbow, to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And like I said here, you need to reevaluate what it is that's really making you happy. These cups that you've had so far aren't really, even though it is what you thought would make you happy, it isn't. And you need to be more creative. These are options coming for you here. Eight of Wands is all about options, coming up with new creative ideas. It can also be people coming towards you, right? Eight of Wands is that card in the traditional deck with all the wands shooting in. And it's like you have to, you know, you have a lot of people coming in for you. You have a lot of options, a lot of people communicating to you. It can indicate a lot of suitors. It can indicate a lot of creative ideas bursting forth. But whatever it is, it's also talking about boundaries and limits, having too much of something, right? And having to set boundaries so that you can hone in and get a more focused, right? To get more focus on what it is you want, or which option you're going to pick. All right. So that's quite interesting. That's you know, and it also can indicate that whereas before you may have been thinking quite limited about what it is you could hope for, right? This is also letting you know that there's a lot of things that you could hope for. You know, don't be so restrictive in your dreaming as well. In that way, don't limit your dreams, right? Certainly don't limit your dreams for yourself or the dreams that you have for the type of relationship you want. Aeon is the Judgment card in the Thoth deck. 20. Right? So High Priestess and Judgment, this is it. This is looking at your life from, you know, not from a broad view. Letting go of guilt, letting go of perhaps some of the past pain that has caused you to act like this most recently, and kind of be led astray in terms of thinking that these type of scenarios or relationships were going to be making you happy after what you've gone through. Now you're starting to come full circle and realize, yeah, perhaps I've, you know, I need to look more clearly in terms of how I fit into all of this. How do I fit in into my life? You know, how have I been responsible for certain relationships, and how can I also move forward without that baggage? And High Priestess is perfect for that, because she's all about using your wisdom and your third eye to look in deeper and to get to the root of a lot of the issues that we have. So yeah, a lot of self-transformation, a lot of change for you, Scorpio. I hope this resonates with you. If this resonates with any of you out there, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and share. I love you, Scorpio, so much. But for right now, I'm just going to say, have a wonderful, wonderful new moon month. Bye-bye.